with such huge amounts of strength coming out as a result of the Saiyans' training. It shouldn't be possible for them to ever get weaker, right? But a regression in the Saiyans' strength is exactly how I noticed the very dangerous mistake that's starting to hold them back. A curse that's destroying their chances to reach the next beyond. By ignoring the damage this mistake is causing, the bravest of heroes are losing the power needed to protect the Earth. The Saiyans must eliminate the curse they've created. Otherwise, they'll quickly become the weakest Saiyans in the entire multiverse. But how long has it been since Universe 7's strongest protectors have shown us even a hint of weakness? Didn't we just watch them break through their limits again? Considering none of our main heroes have been seen falling behind, is it possible they don't even realize they're getting weaker? If so, then could this be a curse the Saiyans will never defeat? Thing is, even if they do notice the weakness this mistake is creating, there's no way the Saiyans will even try to fight against it. Why would they? When the power of this same Saiyan curse has saved their lives time and time again, relying on something so harmful seems way too dangerous of a risk to take. But is it really? After all, this mistake is the reason the Saiyans have been able to protect the ones they love. Earth would have been destroyed a long time ago if this race of fearless warriors had stopped depending on the source of their Saiyan curse. Taking that into consideration, should it matter what price they're now having to pay? Even if they knew it would eventually drag their strength behind the other Saiyans of the multiverse, at least the Saiyan curse had given Universe 7's heroes the immediate but temporary boost that has always saved the day. Though this isn't the first time we've seen the Universe 7 Saiyans being tricked in the way this curse is fooling them now. It's not the first time they've felt totally safe depending on a power that no one was even sure where it had come from. And unfortunately, to find that seemingly reliable power turn out harmful instead. What a letdown to have all that intense training turn into just a waste of time. Makes you wonder, after Goku experienced that dangerous fall from power, why are the Saiyans letting their oldest mistake do this to them again? Whether they train without it or even refuse to use it, that immediate boost always ends up being needed. And after using it in so many battles, there is no avoiding the curse better known as the Super Saiyan forms. Since the beginning, the forms of the Super Saiyan have been backing our heroes into a corner. The Saiyans were given a choice to either ignore the future disadvantage of these forms in exchange for immediate strength, or never again depend on that immediate boost, the one advantage that has protected their loved ones and themselves for so many years. With dangerous options like these, which side they would choose should have seemed obvious. Because eventually, the main force driving a Saiyan's true nature becomes impossible to ignore. At some point, every Saiyan will realize all that matters is gaining power.
ほら、善ちゃんたちに力の大会をやってくれって頼んだんさ。
But then Gohan changed the game. Gohan had finally shown that Saiyans didn't have to rely on a dangerous power source to get stronger. There were other ways of training that didn't involve the traditional Super Saiyan forms at all. But it eventually turned out that no Saiyan, not even Gohan, could avoid depending on the curse the Saiyans had created.
Choice. I have to do it now.
However, sometimes all it takes is an outsider's opinion. And suddenly, the answers become obvious to even the people being fooled. Which is exactly what happened when one of the multiverse's strongest beings seemingly agreed with Gohan's earlier decision to depend on a different type of power.
Push far beyond the limits of strength as they know them. Right now, relying on the Super Saiyan boost would get in the way.
At that time, Whis also saw the advantage of avoiding the Super Saiyan forms. But finally, Whis and Gohan were no longer the only ones seeing the danger the Saiyan curse was creating.
I haven't told them not to go Super Saiyan, yet they've both chosen not to, on their own.
But old habits are hard to leave behind. Proving he didn't have to rely on those traditional Super Saiyan forms anymore, Goku's decision to risk using the Saiyan curse again, not out of need, but instead because of nothing more than an unwise choice, unfortunately, also proved how easy it is for the Saiyans to keep falling back over and over again into the curse's disadvantages. Once again, we were tricked by the Saiyans' blindness of the danger they were putting their own selves in. But how was Super Saiyan Blue? A god form able to control energy better than any other form before it, harming Goku and Vegeta. Being a power Whis, the one who had directed the Saiyans to train with only their base forms.
I believe they progressed so far in such little time. I'm beginning to understand what Beerus sees in these Saiyans.
Have been proud to see. How could this Super Saiyan form be forcing the Saiyans back into a corner? Well, in this scene, Goku proved using even Super Saiyan Blue was still making the same dangerous mistake as with all his other forms. Considering Gohan wasn't stronger than Super Saiyan Blue, it's clear that Goku wasn't forced into using such a high level. What he was doing was reawakening the curse that's starting to hold the Saiyans behind. And the multiverse's peaceful Saiyans weren't afraid to show us exactly how Goku had revived it. It was through Cabba's own awakening of the Super Saiyan form that we find the truth behind how a Saiyan should be using their powers. That we find the true disadvantage of these powers isn't in the act of using them. Instead, the danger is found in the way a Saiyan chooses to use the Super Saiyan forms. Hidden in this lesson was the key to avoid falling behind the Universe 6 Saiyans. And yet, Goku and Vegeta let the key slip right through their fingers. As they watched Cabba in his moment of desperation to protect those closest to him.
Once the fight is over, I'm going to blow your stupid planet Sadala to smithereens!
Didn't Goku and Vegeta notice the link between Cabba's insane learning curve and the fact the Universe 6 Saiyans had been forced for all these years to train only in their base form?
Don't know how!
Are you actually telling me you can't even turn Super Saiyan?
It was through Cabba's new experience that Goku should have remembered how Super Saiyan was supposed to be used. After all, wasn't Cabba's push into Super Saiyan
I will.
almost identical to the panic and anger-filled push that made Goku the first modern Saiyan to show the legend was actually a reality?
I won't let you get away with this!
However, it wasn't long before the boy who first seemed to have mastered the art of Super Saiyan fell into the Saiyan curse himself. If the Omni Kings were out to erase their universe, then the Universe 6 Saiyans would all need a boost that they could rely on. Luckily, Cabba had already seen the immense amounts of power that could be gained when his home was put in danger. But there was a hidden disadvantage behind the Super Saiyan form that he had yet to encounter. And unfortunately, the Zunos weren't allowing Kaba and his friends the time to understand this disadvantage, hiding in the form they originally never even knew of. With nothing more than a quick explanation, the young, oblivious Saiyans, with their constant training in base form allowing them to find the Super Saiyan form so easily, fell for the same mistake their Universe 7 counterparts had been making for years. But when the Tournament of Power came, all of the Saiyans, regardless of their universe, saw yet another reminder that there truly is a correct way of training themselves to reach the next beyond. Only because of his training solely in base form, Goku accessed a power that found massive amounts of strength without the traditional boost the Saiyans had all become so dependent on. Had Goku finally seen through the lies of the Saiyan curse? If he had, we wouldn't be questioning the Saiyan's ability to defeat the Super Saiyan disadvantage in the first place. Although his elimination would mean the erasing of his universe, including the erasing of his own life. With his third Ultra Instinct awakening, a simple punch didn't pose enough danger for Goku's internal instincts to consider his life to be at risk. At least not in the same way the first two awakenings had. With this type of overwhelming danger not present in his third occurrence with Ultra Instinct, the single push needed in order to use his power correctly was missing. And with only the thought of protecting his friends and family, Goku was depending on his abilities in the wrong way yet again. However, unlike Goku and his fellow Saiyans, there is one Saiyan in this multiverse that appears to have accomplished what Kaba almost did, using a form almost too similar to Gohan's ultimate form and Goku's Ultra Instinct. Only this Saiyan seems to have never fallen into the trap of the Saiyan curse. With this form appearing to be close to his base, could Broly have already shown us a sneak peek into the levels any Saiyan can reach if using the Super Saiyan form correctly? Is this the form that comes from training the base to its max and relying on Super Saiyan boosts only when a situation appears in which their life is at risk? Tell me what you think down below, AniFam.